So how is sediment and magma formed? Well, what am I going to do? You should be on page 41. And what I would like for you to do is to write in the blank what I am typing on in your notebook. So sediment forms through weathering. Weathering of rocks, which is caused by energy from the sun. So sediment forms, so this is sediment right here. Sediment forms from weathering of rocks, which is caused by the energy of the sun. Okay, so now what about for magma? Magma forms through melting of rocks, which is caused by energy from Earth's interior. All right, so now we're going to go to lesson 2.3. Okay, right here. So here's a warm-up for you. So what happens when magma forms? So what we're going to do is says today we'll use hard candy to model how magma and sediment form. We did that experiment class. Order the steps 1 through 3 that are needed to form either magma or sediment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark it up. Oops. I'm not drawing. Okay. So this says rock is exposed to energy from Earth's interior. So that is a clue right there. Part or all of the rock melts, okay? And the rock is heated until it is 700 degrees Celsius or to 1300 degrees Celsius. So is it sediment or magma that gets energy from Earth's interior or melts? Well, as you know, it is magma. And then we're going to see which one's the first step to create igneous rock. Oops, so we have first, when magma forms, rock is exposed to energy from Earth's interior. The rock is heated until it is 700 degrees Celsius to 1300 degrees Celsius. And then part or all of the rock melts. Okay, so that's how magma is formed. Now for sediment, here are the steps that we have to put in order. Weather or storms move wind and water. Energy from the sun heats Earth's surface and atmosphere. And then weathering breaks rock into pieces. All right, so let's put this in order. So the first thing that must happen is you get the energy from the sun, and it heats Earth's surface and atmosphere. Then weather moves, weather moves wind and water. And then we have weathering breaks rock into pieces. All right, so the next okay, so the next thing that we have, so it's green group. So actually that one, the one we just did right now, that was page 43. I apologize for that. So that was page 43. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'm actually going to write something about what happens with the igneous rock. So here's a prompt. What would happen if the rock sample picture above, which is igneous, was first exposed to energy from the sun? Okay, so we have igneous rock, and we're going to expose it to energy from the sun, and then millions of years later to energy into Earth's interior. So first it was energy from the sun, and then we're going to expose it to Earth's interior. What will happen? Okay, so we're on page 49. And let's type this out. So energy from the sun would cause, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make these larger so you guys can see. Energy from the sun would cause weathering to make sediment. Compaction and cementation would turn sediment into sedimentary rock. And then energy from Earth's interior would cause melting and the rock would turn into magma. All right. So let me read that to you again. Energy from the sun would cause weathering to make sediment. Compaction and cementation would turn sediment into sedimentary rock. And then energy from Earth's interior would cause melting, and then the rock would turn into magma. Okay, so remember, I'm just going to write this out actually. So energy from the sun causes weathering. Oh, actually, you know what? This word goes here. It causes weathering. So energy from the sun. However, energy from Earth's interior causes melting. All right, so remember, energy from the sun causes weathering, and then energy from Earth's interior causes melting. All right, so the next one. So that's page 49. Now we're on page 50. So we're dealing with sedimentary rock. What would happen if the rock sample pictured above was exposed to energy from the sun, and then millions of years later to energy from Earth's interior? Okay, so what would happen? All right, so we're dealing with sedimentary rock. We're on page 50. We know that energy from the sun would cause weathering to make sediment. Compaction and cementation would turn a sediment into sedimentary rock. And then energy from Earth's interior would cause melting, and the rock would turn into magma. All right, so let's review this again. So you had a sedimentary rock, and actually it doesn't even matter what you have, but you expose it to the energy from the sun first, and then millions of years later, you expose it to energy from Earth's interior. So just a quick review. Remember, weathering, the sun, energy from the sun causes weathering, right? Which is a breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces. And energy from Earth's interior causes melting. So, energy from the sun would cause weathering to make sediment. Compaction and cementation would turn the sediment into sedimentary rock. And then energy from Earth's interior, I spelled that wrong. Would cause melting, and the rock would turn into magma. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so now we have a sedimentary rock, but this time, what would happen if the rock sample pictured above was first exposed to energy from Earth's interior, and then millions of years later to energy from the sun? Okay, so let's type out, and again, now we're on page 51. So let's use the word bank to type out what would happen if first the rock was exposed to energy from Earth's interior, and then we exposed it to energy from the sun. What would happen? All right, so energy, energy from Earth, from Earth's interior would cause melting of the rock and turn it into magma. The magma would cool and turn into igneous rock. Then energy from the sun would cause weathering to turn the rock into sediment. All right, there we go. So let me read it one more time. So what would happen if this sedimentary rock was first exposed to energy from Earth's interior, but then later on, after millions of years, exposed to energy from the sun? Well, energy from Earth's interior would cause melting. Cause melting of the rock and turn it into magma. Then the magma would cool and turn it into igneous rock. Then energy from the sun would cause weathering. Oops, that was too big. We'll undo. Will cause weathering to turn rock into sediment. All right, let's go on to page 52. All right, so we have an igneous rock. What would happen if the rock sample pictured above was first exposed to Earth's interior, and then millions of years later exposed to energy from the sun? So just a quick review. We know that if it's exposed to Earth's interior, it's going to cause melting. If exposed to energy from the sun, it's going to cause weathering. All right, so let's type out our response. Energy. What's that noise? Energy. No, I like Earth. Oops. Earth's interior. Oh no, I was right. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Energy from Earth's interior would cause melting. And the rock would turn into magma. The magma would cool and turn into igneous rock. And energy from the sun would cause weathering to turn the rock into sediment. All right, really quickly again. Energy from Earth's interior, so right here, would cause melting, and the rock would turn into magma. The magma would cool and turn into igneous rock. Then energy from the sun would cause weathering to turn the rock into sediment. All right, so let's go to let me see, purple group. Oh, okay, right here. All right, so we're on page 57. And then what we're going to use these words from the word bank to properly label the picture. Okay, so this picture right here, I wish it was in color. This picture right here is magma. So that's magma. And then, as you can see here, we have a higher temperature, but the temperature is going down. So this is cooling. And then after that happens, after the cool, so magma cools, and then guess what? It becomes igneous rock. Oh, I apologize. My R is kind of funky. All right, so next. Then we have this picture right here, and actually this picture is of sediment. Then once we have sediment, we have compaction and cooling. No, not cooling, cementation. I think they made up. So we have compaction and cementation. And then once that happens, it will turn into sedimentary rock. Oops, darn it. Sedimentary rock. Okay. All right. And then okay, we're on page 60. So, using what we learned so far, explain what transformation process is happening to the diagram above. So we see a jagged cliff, and then you can see these little pieces of rock coming down. But also you have the sun here, and then you have clouds of rain, and then you have wind right here. Okay, so what is happening? And then a few million years later, guess what? Instead of a jagged peak, we now have something that's smoothed out. So what exactly is happening? All right, so we have energy from the sun is causing rain and wind, which is weathering the rock and making sediment. All right, and then on page 61, we have Earth's interior. Okay, what's going on here? We have magma forming, right? Oh, right, this is the core, but here's here's where magma is forming. So what is happening? Explain the process. We have energy from Earth's interior is melting rock, which is making magma. That's it. And then I don't think I have anything more for you guys to do. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. All right. So make sure you've written down all your notes. Just a reminder, you will be able to use the notes that you have created, you've written down on your test on Thursday. Okay. So all that you've written down, you'll be able to use them on the test. All right.